So let's make a final prediction for that England squad to tour Japan and New Zealand that's going to be announced next week. We've got the Premiership final, players from Bath and Northampton to come in. They're going to boot out a load of players from this current training squad, although I think we've got an idea of where Steve Borthwick is going to go, which is why I'm making this video right now. This isn't what I would do. I'll release that after the Premiership final, but I think this is the way that Steve Borthwick is going. So let's get into it. At loosehead prop, we saw Joe Marler come into the squad this week, and I think that says he is here to stay, certainly for the short term for this year, and that means he's probably going for safety first in general, going for that win in New Zealand with tried and tested players rather than developing lots of players. And with Ellis Genge out, I don't think he's going to take Manu Yogan of Northampton, but I do think he's going to take Beno Urbano as a really strong scrummager. So him and Marler as really strong scrummagers, and the youngster Finn Baxter of Harlequins, I think he's going to be the development guy, and Bevan Rodd drops out. At hooker, the contenders coming in, I think it's just Curtis Langdon. He's going to kick one of them out because surely he's in such great form. He's got to be in. Gabriel O'Gray, the youngster from Bristol, I think he's the obvious one to drop out. So Dan, George and Langdon, I think, are the ones going. I'm pretty sure about that. Tight head prop, we saw Dan Cole come in. Again, a solid customer, tried and tested. Who's going to come in? Contenders coming in are Will Stewart and Trevor Davison, who's had a really good season for Northampton. But he knows Stewart, he knows he can do it. I don't think he's going to kick out Hayes because he knows Hayes. So I think it's going to go Cole, Hayes and Stewart, with Davison missing out. Second rows, I think he's going to take 4 with Ollie Chesham out now injured. Alex Coles was always probably going to go, so he comes in from Northampton. Does Charlie Ewells come in from Bath, the other contender for me in the final? Well, yes, I do think he comes in. He's looking for those tried and tested players to go somewhere really fearsome like New Zealand and put in a good performance. Nick Ezekwe could go, but I think he goes out. And Rusi Tuima, I don't think he's going to risk him against New Zealand. So it's going to be Coles, Ewells, Atoje and the youngster George Martin. In the back row, I think he's going to take about 7 back rowers. Contenders coming in from the final are Ted Hill, Sam Underhill, Alfie Barbary and Tom Pearson. Who do I think is going to make it? Well, I think Chandler Cunningham South goes. We saw in the Six Nations, he's the guy that they think is coming through with loads of potential. We saw both Currys come in the most recent training squad. Who's going to go out of those two, if any of them? Well, I think it's going to be Tom Curry. I don't think he includes him unless he's serious, and from what he's selected so far, he's going for those tried and tested test match animals. Tom Curry's going to be fit enough. He's the sort of guy who will get himself crazy fit even when he's not playing, and indeed they said he came back into the sales side topping out all the fitness scores, so I don't think that's a problem. I thought it would be worth resting him, but this is not what about I would do. This is what I think Borthwick will do, and I think he's going to take him. And Ben Curry misses out again. Who goes as the number 8? Does Alfie Barbary come in? Well, no, I don't think he does. I think Don Brandt stays, and I think Ben Earl goes as the 2 number 8s. He doesn't really need 3 number 8s. He can only take about 7 back rows anyway. And I think they still see Alfie Barbary as work to do, maybe on his fitness, his mobility. Sure, he runs hard and straight, but can he do the other things? Has he got a big enough engine? Has he got the footwork? That sort of thing. So I think he might just miss out. I just don't see space for him in these 7. But surely Borthwick is going to take Ted Hill. His form is too good for Bath to ignore, I think, so he goes in. Ethan Roots has been very much trusted by Borthwick. I think he likes his dog, he likes his hard work, he's got a good engine, hits hard, carries hard, so I see him staying in with Sam Underhill as the other 7, and then Tom Willis, he would miss out as well. So you've got plenty of options at 6, 7 and 8. You can mix people around a bit. I think those are the 7 that he wants to take to New Zealand especially. On to scrum half. Ben Spencer, Alex Mitchell, the 2 candidates to come in, and I think they both come in. Ben Spencer has been unlucky missing out on selection in the past, but his form is so good, getting to a Premiership final, being one of their best players consistently. Just can't ignore him. Mitchell's the number 1 anyway, so he goes with Spencer. And who of the other 3 go? Is it Quirk? Is it Randall? Or maybe on form I'd say it should be Randall, although this is not about what I would do. I think he's going to take Jack Van Portfleet. He knows him from Leicester. He's got a big kicking game. He's young. I think he likes him. He would have gone to the World Cup if he hadn't got injured. So Mitchell, Van Portfleet and Spencer. At least the fly half is pretty easy. Contenders coming in is Finn Smith, and he goes in and he definitely displaces Charlie Atkinson. So that's super simple. Ford and the two Smiths. On to centres, and the pickings for England are really slim, as we've talked about in previous videos. Contenders coming in, Max Ajomo of Bath, although he didn't feature in the semi-final. Is he going to feature in the final? Probably not. So that maybe puts his chances way down. Ollie Lawrence has been performing very well for Bath and starting, although at 13 and England probably want him at 12. Fraser Dingwall's been super consistent for Northampton, of course. Tom Litchfield is the young centre from Northampton who may not feature in the final either. And Tommy Freeman could be considered as a centre, but I don't know. I think he'll be considered more as a back three. The four I think he's going to take are Dingwall as a 12. I think he likes Dingwall. He thinks he's very clever, and he is. Does he pack enough punch is my question, but again, it's not about what I think. I think he'll take Dingwall and Lawrence as the 12, even though Lawrence plays 13 for Bath, and I think he takes Henry Slade for sure, and the other 13 I think is going to be Luke Northmore. So a little bit light on centres to say the least, not too much size in there, but I think those are the four that are most likely to go. Then onto the back three, 6 spaces left. Who are the contenders to come in? Well, there's quite a lot. Will Muir, Joe Thokanasiga, Ollie Slightholme, George Furbank, Tommy Freeman and George Hendy I think are all in the picture for sure. Who comes in? Who gets knocked out? Well, Joe Carpenter, I think he goes out. Probably he was only in because Daly can't tour, so he's in that training squad this week, but I think he gets knocked out. They're definitely going to take Faywa Busu. They really like him, as they should. Tommy Freeman definitely comes in. He's been a favourite in the Six Nations. George Furbank looks like he's their first choice fullback. I can't see Max Malins going because I think they're going to keep Freddie Stewart as the second fullback. Then the two newbies would be Tom Roebuck and Ollie Slightholme. I think their form has been just too good to ignore. So that is my 36-man squad that I think Steve Borthwick is going to pick. Let's compare it next week to what is actually picked and see how wrong I was or how right I was. But what do you think? How close is this squad to the one that you think is going to tour? All those comments below, like, subscribe, that would be awesome, and I'll catch you next time.